Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Dragon Network. Today I've got for you guys a deck profile, which I know sounds a little odd given that I just spent a little bit in my last video saying how I didn't want to be doing nothing but deck profiles and dev pro games and deck profiles and dev pro games, but I wanted to show you guys this before I make some changes to it, what with Hidden Wrestler 7 coming out this weekend, and the extra deck, and possibly the build itself, going to be seeing some major changes as I'm playing a gatewayless 6 Samurai deck, so yeah, gatewayless LSS. Get the reference? I know some people just did, but yeah. Before I go any further, I know there's going to be some people who are going to be saying, "Oh my God, 6 Samurai! It's such a sacky, skillless deck. It's degenerate. It's a suicide bomber. It's this and this and this." Well, all I have to say is silence and listen. Alright, so before I get into this, I'm just going to take this quick moment to talk about one issue that will be surrounding this deck, and that's the fact that it is basically a copy of Botang's YCS San Diego 6 Samurai. My reasoning is, if I'm going to figure out how to play, almost said soulless OTT, but I mean gatewayless 6 Samurai, if I'm going to figure out how to play that particular style, I figured I might as well just go with it by learning how to play Botang's version and then modifying it to suit my own taste. It's not 100 exactly like his, but it's so close to his that you might as well just call it a net deck. And I'm just taking this moment to talk about the whole net decking versus creativity issue. Net decking seems to have gotten a really bad name, but at its very core, it's also very important for the game because it helps new people or people who've never played a deck before and want to learn how to make it work by taking an established list, playing it, learning how it works, and then changing it to suit your own tastes. This isn't going to be my finalized build of 6 Samurai. I know I'm going to be changing this as time goes on, but if I'm going to learn how to play 6 Samurai and play it really well, I might as well start by figuring out how the best players run their 6 Samurai deck, learn the combos of that, and go from there. That is how you properly net deck. Bad net decking is just when you take someone's build, don't change a thing, and claim yourself the greatest just because you can win games off of it. Not figuring out how to understand a deck, how to side with it, how to play matchups with it. That is the bad way to go about it. No, that is the awful way of going about it. So there's pros and cons to the whole thing. Alright, now with that little rant out of the way, let's get to the actual deck profile itself. First, the monsters. We got our usual suspects, the triple Kazan, triple Kogeki, and triple Kagemusha. With Smoke Signal at 3, I definitely would not run any less, especially in the control build. Just being able to go Kogeki, Kagemusha ASAP, even without needing the smoke signals, it's very important. You want to make Shien as fast as possible since you are trying to play the grind game with a monster protect your back row. Then for the one-ofs, you got your Grandmaster. He's kind of really good. This is great for clearing monsters. This is also great for getting rid of monsters and bouncing shit away during attack declarations and such forth. Then you got your one Elder. If I were playing more aggressively, I would run 2 of them, but the one Elder has just been really sufficient. You've got asceticism to pull out of the deck. You've got 3 smoke signals if you really need it, and I tend to open with this quite frequently. Like, I don't understand why it is that the one of 6 Samurais I'll always draw into on the turn 1, but it's just how it is. So let's get on to the spells now. You got your 3 smoke signals and your 3 united. They're kind of self-explanatory, really good cards. Smoke signal to 3, I did not see that happening, but it is what it is. Even with smoke signal at 3, Samurais are still only doing moderately well. It's kind of sad that smoke signal can go to 3 and Samurais are not considered threatening anymore. How the game has changed. Anyway, enough being that bittered old person with the cane shaking at it and telling kids to get off my lawn. I'm starting to sound like one of those guys. So, MST, it's good at 3, hitting Abyss Spheres, Gates, and Phoenix Chains, and so on and so on. And you know what else is good? Lance, because being able to lance Xian when they try and do really creative stuff to get it off the board is rather helpful. And also allows Xian to beat over bigger monsters. 2 copies of Asceticism. I don't mind actually the second copy, as I've just found myself opening with Elder so many times. Like, opening Elder Asceticism is amazing. Just being able to make that Knack Beast or that Xian, depending on how many other plays you have in hand, it's just a really good card. I can understand why you would run one. It can be really clumpy, especially in a control build like this, but I've just been having pretty good success with 2 of these. Then lastly, Monster Reborn and Rhoda. So that's it for the spells. Onto the traps. Get the double bottomless, double-edged. 2 might be a little excessive in this style, but it's actually not as bad as I thought it would turn out to be. Just being able to have that second chance to make a Xian or a Neck Beast, because there are those times where your opponent will Veiler the Kagemusha, or they'll Torrential Tribute after you go Kageki Kagemusha. Yeah, when they Veiler the Kageki. I keep getting their names mixed up. Shows you just how much I haven't really been using these, but yeah, these allow you to have a second chance at making your big synchro plays, or you can use them in conjunction with what you have on field to make even bigger synchro plays. Then you've got your 2 Fiendish Chain to, well, I don't even know why I'm explaining it. It's like one of the best traps in the format. Musakani protects Xian from destruction effects, you know, like heavy infantry, Black Rose Dragon, just monster effects that they would use to try and pop your Xian, or even just protect your back row from things like an MST that they're trying to use to bait out the Xian Negate, or Heavy Storm to bait out the Xian Negate. People will do a lot of things to try and bait out that Xian Negate. They'll like play some cards when they don't really have to, or when they don't want to, and making it like a less than ideal play. Like I had someone try and bait out my Xian Negate by, what was he doing? Like, he was just trying to MST like a random set card, so I let that go through, and then he was like Dark Hole. I'm like, Musakani, and you're like, oh, Heavy Storm Negate, scoop. Like, that kind of stuff. Also, to help protect Xian, 2 copies of Safe Zone. This card's been really, really, really good in play. Just being able to keep your Xian safe from destruction effects, like, again, infantry. Like, I know I keep talking about Mermails a bit, but let's be honest, they're the de facto best deck right now, and Xian plus Safe Zone is really difficult to get around, because the Safe Zone you can protect with Xian or Nap Beast, and just being able to Nap Beast Safe Zone itself is actually pretty frightening against certain decks, i.e. Dark Worlds. And that's something I might have mentioned already, is again, I like how Samurai can dominate Dark Worlds post-siding, and in general. Granted, if they go off with their turn 1 card destruction and their turn 1 drag down, you're in a bad position, but making Nap Beast plus back row is a beautiful thing against that deck. Now, where was I? Oh yes, the last 2 cards. My Solemns, because they're good in this type of deck. So let's get to the extra deck now, shall we? We got the obvious level 5s, Xian, Catastor, Nap Beast. You got Barkion, Gaia Knight, and Landois. Then Mistworm. I know, it's pretty much, in fact, I'm pretty sure it is the same as Botang's extra deck. I didn't really find anything in there worth changing out at this time. Hidden Arsenal 7 will require some adjusting, because again, Ouroboros and Daigusta Ermal are kind of really good in here. But for now, though, yeah, we got these guys. Shadow Xian, I don't really make that often, but he's kind of there to just be supported by Samurai stuff, like he does put a counter on United, which is good. Excalibur pretty much clears any threat monster your opponent has. 2 Kazans make it. Black Ship of Corn gets rid of Zenmaines, which can be a bit of an annoyance for this deck. Then you got Abyss Dweller. It's good, it really is. Diamond Direwolf, iffy on this, probably going to drop it. Cowboy, it wins games. Maestro puts down monsters to attack over. And then Zenmaines is useful when you go Kageki, and you just have to kind of sit on that. Granted, it is 1,700 attack points for each one, so you're doing decent damage, and then you can go in this main phase too. And this guy plus Kageki is actually pretty fun, just having that big Kageki during the damage step. You can win games just by swinging this, swinging with Kageki, and then swinging with this, swinging with Kageki. So, that is my profile of 6 Samurai. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, it's nothing you haven't seen before, especially recently. I am curious to see, again, what the deck that topped YCS Costa Rica was running. If it was either main decking Gateway or if it was not. Both are viable ways to play the deck. I just happen to like this style a little more. But again, I'm definitely probably going to Tri-Gateway again when we get the new cards from Hidden Arsenal 7. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you all for watching, and, well, take it away, Zengar.
力に物を言わせてきた貴様らもまた野蛮の僧、貴様はここで死ね。この屈辱を忘れんぞ。我が残関島に立てぬ者なし。